we talk about people, places, and projects that fire us up. I'm your host, Suzie Becker. I'm here with Beth Toenies of 1-800-BOARDUP.
That's
Hi.
right. Hi, Suzie. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. So I moved to Florida probably a decade ago, and I remember the very first time there was a major storm, and all I saw was the footage on TV, and you would see people like struggling to like fight the storm and to have, and I thought to myself, how do they get it together to board it up? And then I met you.
Yes, and it's definitely, there's so much more in the planning stages that individuals need to do, not just for storm damage, but think of if there's a fire at your house or a flood, something happens, your bathroom floods, so you will have to vacate the house because mold might be there. There's a lot of other things that go into all of these fires and floods and hurricanes than what you would just think. So that's where our company, we have 114 franchise locations, and 1-800-BOARDUP is an international company in US and Canada. So we're actively growing, and that's really the heart of what we do, is to help people prepare and recover from the worst day of their lives.
So let's start at the very beginning, right? If I know there's a number, and it's so easy, 1-800-BOARDUP.
That's right.
And I know that fire, flood, damage, I have to leave. I don't want to leave everything exposed to the elements, and I don't want to expose it to people who might break in and steal things.
That's right.
How do I get a hold of you? You're saying that you're national, internationally, in fact.
Yep.
But based here in
so
Northeast Florida.
In Northeast Florida, I moved the company here in 2015, and this is where we've been since. We were acquired by Belfour Franchise Group in July of 2022. And so our headquarters moved officially up to Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is where I will go up to and work every so often, but most of our team is here in the Jacksonville market.
Wow. And do you outsource them to different parts of the country?
Yes, we do. Each of our franchisees are owned separately. So about half of them are independently owned and operated. The other half are Belfour Property Restoration owned and operated. And it's absolutely fascinating how we're able to step in and educate those when something goes wrong, but also, to your point, protect other people, because it's not just looters, right, that would come and take your things. Think of that neighborhood child, and that would be wandering in because, oh, that looks so cool, what's in there? And you see him going in with his baseball bat when he was just on his bike.
And the biggest fear is they get into your refrigerator or into
that's right,
the
and they get trapped, or their foot falls through the floor, and then you are liable. You're being sued for that. So a lot of homeowners and business owners don't realize that it's called the attractive nuisance doctrine. You're actually liable. So that's why it's so important to board up your structure and then go with a company just like ours, who we're going to help take you through that next step of contacting your insurance agent, getting housing set up, and really help walk you through some of the scariest moments of your life.
Oh my gosh. So it sounds to me like you probably have a relationship with insurance agents. Are they familiar with your resources so that they can send their clients your way? And if not, this is an excellent way for people to become aware of this. This was new to me. I always imagined boarded up meant for windows during a hurricane. But it's not true at all, because when I drive through town, there are multiple locations that previously were owned and abandoned, and now they're purchased by
other companies or exactly.
So your company just goes in and takes care of all of that securing of the premises.
That's
correct.
Sounds
simple when I say boarded up, but it's not really.
It really isn't. There's a lot of codes that go into it, and sometimes it's structural stabilization or shoring, or think of like a second floor. You might have to do, maybe we have to do fencing around it, or tarping the roof. And so it's really helping take the emergency out of that first step for you, while you're then looking at the whole rest of fixing your kitchen or your bathroom, or
searching for photographs.
That's right.
To see what you can recover, because now you feel like the building is not going to fall down on you.
That's right.
And you can make those necessary arrangements in between having to have picked up and left your life, or a portion of your home, or a section of your backyard shed.
That's right.
Like I said, for me, it was very basic. It was the very first footage, and I was like, oh, windows board. That, they said, was the easy part.
Yep, it is.
Then I realized that there's a lot more to it, and in my mind, like you just said, there's codes and there's permits required to do this. I don't know why I thought that it was like individual. Maybe because in cartoons, people are always boarding things up.
Right. Or you think it's as simple as going out and getting plywood yourself, right? But there's so much more that goes into it. And The really incredible thing about our organization, 1-800-BOARDUP, is we partner with first responders internationally. So we are out there educating the fire departments in working with emergency services personnel, 911 dispatch centers, etc., to let them know, hey, just so you know, there's something called the attractive nuisance doctrine. So when you dispatch out a 911 call and let's say the fire department or police department leave that's exposed, you need to make sure that homeowner or property owner, they know they're liable. And so a lot of it has just been educating the public in the best way we can without putting out an infomercial out there about everything. It's just say, spread the word. We need to make sure everyone is educated, so when there is a disaster, they're prepared to call a company like ours. And yes, they would just call 1-800-BOARDUP, and you would automatically go to the franchise that's nearest to you. And they've all been trained and are best in the business.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this information and this resource with our community.
Yes.
If you want to find out more about 1-800-BOARDUP, you can find us on dailynewsnetwork.com. I'm your host, Suzie Becker. Stay inspired and inspiring.